welcome everybody to World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name, as always, is Maxwell, and today's first video is from the user Razor Storm. That is Razor Storm, and he's driving the T-44 in a standard battle on Ruinberg. T-44 being a tier 8 medium tank for the Russians, the one right before the beautiful T-54, which is probably tier for tier, one of, if not the best tank in the game. So Razor Storm straight away going to be heading for the center of the map to that E6 square. Going to be taking up a position where he can guard the central road here on both sides. Can see all the way to the square in the center, but conversely can also look behind himself in order to look up the road there. Panther 2 just squeezing in and muscling in on his position there. Wants to be a little bit further ahead. He's taking to the high road there. Enemy team nowhere to be seen so far. They've got a few guys on the right-hand flank there. You can see the VK-3002 and that Chaffee. Razor Storm decides to spin himself around just in order to try and get some hits on these guys. Allows the SU to have a shot there. Going to let his gun close in on the Chaffee, and that's an easy first kill for Razor Storm. Probably took that hit from the Chaffee for the SU there. Gets another good hit on the VK-3002. The SU-122-44 has to relocate now, and this VK-3002 should really have started backing off instead of advancing forwards, as he doesn't really have the cover. Isn't far enough to that right-hand side. Razor Storm just tracking him there. Gets a great shot through the wall to take him out as a T-44 takes out the Black Prince behind them there. Razor Storm, I think, was waiting for the SU to fire, but the SU refusing to open up, so Razor Storm just advances forward. Gets another good hit onto a tank advancing forwards there on the side of that T-44. T-44 is smart enough at least to go as far right as he is, so that he is at least in cover from the guys from the road. Unfortunately, I don't think he's got much cover from the guys in front. Tiger 1 here gets hit by surprise. A very low roll there, only 189 damage. And I'd be interested to see what the lowest roll this gun is capable of making. It looks like the average damage is 250, so I would think that 189 has got to be very, very nearly the minimum that it could possibly roll. As you see, roll 288 there, which is almost 100 points of damage higher. But anyway, it was a nice shot by Razor Storm to take out the Tiger's tracks there, or else the Tiger would have been able to get away from that one, as it was the SU-122-44 was able to take him out. Razor Storm relocating behind this rubble pile here, as the enemy team has pushed forwards nicely here and is in a position to threaten. There was a lot of allied tanks making a move towards this position where the IS-8, the allied IS-8 is now, and all of those seem to have been taken out now. So it's a little bit strange where all of those tanks have gone. It looks like they've all just meat grinded themselves to death, just rushing forwards and getting taken out. Gets a nice shot on that Waffenträger. Looks like the Waffenträger is being a little bit too brave at the moment, a bit too brazen. He's way out in the open. I don't think he realizes how many tanks are just in this position and looking in this area, and he's taken a considerable amount of damage. Razor Storm's had 2 nice hits onto him so far, and the Waffenträger is forced to take cover. Hopefully, if this T-20 steaming down the road can get into position, can pop around the corner and take out this Waffenträger. AT-7 advancing forwards as well. Unfortunately, his weak spot is visible, and he's not able to get any shots on Razor Storm in return, so he's just decided now that discretion is the better part of valor and backed off a little bit. Hasn't backed off too far though, still threatening. Now he's decided to start making a move, and as he starts to make his move, Razor Storm takes this opportunity to get a shot on him. Takes another 248 hit points from his total. Does see a Knevin in the distance there. Does get a shot on him, but it's only a critical hit. Hopefully he can maybe back that up with a little bit more damage before he gets into cover. AT-7 still alive. Knevin showing his side armor now. Gets a lovely shot to take his track out as well. Looks like the Knevin either doesn't have or isn't going to use his repair kit, and he gets taken out. And that's kill number 3 now for Razor Storm. Looks like a base capture is underway, and there is 2 people in there, so only 25 seconds left on the clock already. Razor Storm just having a little stop to see if he can shoot that E50, but I think that both himself and this T-20 need to get a move on pretty damn sharpish. Only 15 seconds left on the clock, and they've got a fair distance to cover. It feels like they're close to the base, but remember, they've got to get in there and do some damage to somebody. T-20 going to be taking the wide route around. M103 has a shot. Razor Storm finally gets a shot just as it gets to 1 second left on the clock. Gets a little bit of critical damage on the tracks. T-44 E1 focused on the T-20 here, which is going to allow Razor Storm to shoot him in the back. And he just needs one more good hit now. No, he needs 2 good hits on this T-54 E1 to take him out. So this one's going to be quite risky. T-54 E1 gets himself eliminated thanks to the shot probably from that T-25-2. Now he's got to try and duel with this M103. He's got plenty of time on the cap clock. Tried to put one through the very front of the M103's turret there. Just sneak it to the side of the gun mantlet, but that one isn't to be, unfortunately. Allies losing this one at the moment. 11 kills to 12. T-25-2 has moved in, but it looks like he's stopped to try and help with the E50, which Razor Storm was also trying to do. If he can land just one good hit on him, which he does, because he's still got plenty of time on the cap clock to be able to take a good hit onto this M103. And it's not really an emergency just yet. Decides that he has the hit points to just take a hit from the M103. The M103's got all this time to reload. Gets alongside him, gets a shot through his sidearm, and that's kill number 6. And another decap by Razor Storm. T-71 comes charging in against the Caernarvon there, takes him out, which leaves Razor Storm all by himself now. Just got to take on a full health T-71 and then the artillery. He's only got 415 hit points himself, so this T-71 can probably do some serious damage to him if he is loaded. But to be honest, it looks like he came in, killed the Caernarvon, and then went for a reload, as he is just trying to give the runaround to Razor Storm here. Razor Storm, I think, has realised the same thing. Doesn't want to risk it. This T-71 has more than enough penetration and damage in the barrel, in the clip, to be able to take him out. Lands one good hit. Missed his first shot, though. I think it was a little bit quick on that one. Taking a little bit of damage from this T-71, but he's done a considerable amount of damage back. And I think that T-71's fired all of his shots now. Indeed, he hasn't returned fire yet, and he's just taking cover behind the building. Artillery shells landing. Razor Storm just needs one good hit on this T-71. This T-71 needs to reload that clip and then come in and land 2 or 3 good hits onto Razor Storm to be able to take him out. As you can see, fires one shot, puts it at the side of the building. Razor Storm takes him out. Kill number 7. And now he's just got to hunt down the artillery and claim victory for himself and his team. Going to speed this one up a little bit until we get back into the action. Going for the artillery hunting. Decides to cut into the town, just as the buildings will provide him with a little bit more cover. Going to hunt for the artillery in the usual positions. Last time he was spotted, he was on this lower road here. As it is, he's moved up to the higher road, facing in the wrong direction. Saw that Razor Storm was heading down the open field there, so just decided to face that direction and cover off the area. Unfortunately for him, it was the wrong direction. He tries to make a run for it, but Razor Storm says, no, not today. Takes him out. Picks up the kill, the victory, and the glory. So absolutely awesome game there from Razor Storm and his T-44. Picking himself up almost 6,000 damage, 8 kills, and carrying his team to victory. So awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget to stick around, because as always, the score screens and another game are coming right up. And our second replay today is from the player Driver Reno. That is Driver Reno, and he's driving the IS-7 on a standard battle on Kharkov. IS-7 obviously being a tier 10 heavy tank for the Russians. Driver Reno a little bit late to load into the game there. We're going to see if he can make something happen now. He's a little bit behind the flow of the battle, but he should catch up fairly quickly. Coming straight down the main street here, just to the, well, not the main street, one of the secondary streets to the left of the main street. Spots out an object 432 here. 432 panics as he sees the IS-7's gun close in around him and just rushes that shot and puts it into the rubble there. Driver Reno going to be trying to keep his gun focused in the area in order to get a shot on this Object 432 as he pops himself back out again. Not seeing anybody here, makes it a little bit fake forward as if he's going to drive for the gap there. Doesn't get spotted out, so decides to actually do it and drive for the gap. Probably trying to catch this Object 432 out as he makes a move. Looks like there is nobody in this area whatsoever. Allied team getting pushed a little bit heavily from the north here. Does bounce a shot from the Object 432 here, and the Object 432 decides to make a break for it. I don't think he's going to be able to get into cover in time. Driverino suffering from a little bit of FPS lag here. Not got the highest FPS in the world, so this is going to be even more sweet if he can make something special happen. Staying in cover behind the rubble here. Doesn't want to get assaulted from that left-hand side, as there is a T-57 Heavy, an E-100, and an E-75, and a Jagdpanzer E-100 over there now. So going to have to play this one carefully. There's quite a lot of heavy tanks pushing from that direction. Gets a great shot on that Object 432 there, and the Object 432 sticks it straight in the dirt. Object 432 is going to have the reload on him, but he doesn't have the backbone and decides just to drive away from the situation. Nope, he decides just to drive around the corner for some reason. Does take a hit from the Object 432, but he's only able to get damage on the tracks here. And he starts to make a run for it, although he's going in the wrong direction. Takes another shot, but again, that one doesn't do any damage either. Enemy IS-7 totally oblivious to what's going on here. He's moved up on the side here, but he just doesn't realize that there's an enemy IS-7 right to the side of him. Driverino gets a good shot through his side armor. I think this IS-7 is finally... Nope. Yes, has he? Has he realized that it's gone wrong and he needs to get out of there? He doesn't yet. He is... Well, he was reversing, but he's stopped now. Driverino was able to get another good hit onto him. And Driverino only takes tracking damage in return. And this IS-7 still seems blissfully unaware of how much trouble he is in. Driverino gets a great shot to put some damage through his side armor and take his tracks out. IS-7 electing to use his repair kit. Doesn't want to take any chances now as he finally has realized how much danger he's in. Driverino is able to advance forward and put some pressure on this area. Gets into position to side scrape, but there's a little extra bit of building in front of him. He's not quite able to... just about misses the AMX-50B there, which is a little bit unfortunate. Side shot would have been pretty sweet onto that tank, and he's got to wait for his reload to go now. But he's spoiled for choice on these targets. Decides to shoot for the E-50M as he saw the AMX-50B was looking in this direction. The E-50M returns fire, but only takes out the IS-7's tracks. This thing is pretty troll when it comes to soaking up damage from its tracks. The AMX-50B is now looking in a different direction. Driverino still misses the AMX-50B. It seems like it's got some kind of force field on it at the moment. Shots just missing that one constantly. Spots another IS-7 just on the other side of the wall here. And that's the original IS-7 that he was dueling with earlier. Has his shot and fluffs it. Driverino doesn't fluff his though and puts it straight through his underbelly. Just having a check to make sure he can reverse around the wall properly. A lot of players don't do that, look behind themselves when they're reversing, and they tend to crash into buildings and then get themselves damaged severely. Finds another IS-7. Unfortunately, that one just didn't quite penetrate the troll armor. Just got to, again, wait for his reload to kick in. Hopefully the other IS-7 is looking in the other direction. He's only taken a tiny bit of damage, Driverino, so far. That looks like from a HE shell. Not sure where from or who fired it. Possibly from that other IS-7 or from the Object 432 when he realized he wasn't doing any damage. So that is the center of the city all mopped up, but as you can see, all of the enemy tanks who went to the far north and far left-hand flank have now mopped up the allies that were in the area. Driverino himself is dropping back in an effort to try and do something about this push. You can see an IS-4 T-57 Heavy is a juicy, juicy target. Manages to sneak that one through the fence onto his face, takes him out and picks up kill number 3. It's a very nice kill. He only had a little bit of hit points, but the T-57 Heavy is a dangerous beast when it's able to snipe from distance and remain hidden. It does have that 4-shell clip. Now he's got to decide on the next target. Looks like he's going to go for this Jagdpanzer E-100, which is looking at him. He has still got full hit points pretty much, so he is going to be able to soak one up from the Jagdpanzer E-100 if needed. Looks like his allies have mopped up the last remaining forces in the city. Apart from that E-50M now, Driverino gets a great hit onto that IS-4, and that IS-4 not quite able to get any damage in return. Driverino doing a good job of not angling his tank too much, so that the piked front of the IS-7 is able just to turn aside these shots. Going to try and lure the IS-4 into firing again, but he's not having any of it. Jagdpanzer E-100 has spun around now, going to be defending the rear of these two tanks, as it is only those two left. I'm just going to try and get a shot on the retreating Jagdpanzer E-100. Looks like he's just switched his attention to that IS-4. The IS-4 is completely locked and tunnel visioned on the other IS-7. This is going to allow Driverino just to put a couple of shots into his rear, which he's able to do, and gets a lovely high roll for the second one there. 597 damage on this IS-4. It would be nice if he could get another hit on the IS-4, but it looks like he's going to switch attention to the higher priority target of the Jagdpanzer E-100 here. Gets a great hit onto him. Now he's got to back off. He looks like the Jagdpanzer E-100 is playing very, very carefully, so he switches his attention across to this IS-4. If he can get one more good shot onto him, indeed he can. He's done over 2,000 points of damage to that IS-4 now. Takes him out, and that just leaves the Jagdpanzer E-100 left. Last we saw of him, he had backed off down a ditch. Driverino not leaving anything to chance, waiting for his gun to fully reload before he pops himself out. Jagdpanzer E-100 has the alpha damage to be able to kill the IS-7 here, so Driverino wants to be careful, as he doesn't want to throw his life away needlessly. Just focusing in on the weak spot. Gets a great hit onto the weak spot of the Jagdpanzer E-100, and he's only got 35 hit points left, and there isn't really going to be much he can do. Just one more good hit by Driverino, and there we go. Picks up the last 35 points of damage for kill number 5. A little bit unfortunate that he wasn't able to get himself a Top Gun medal, but still 7,500 points of damage in a heavy tank speaks for itself. So absolutely awesome replay there from Driverino and his IS-7. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget, guys, if you've got yourself a great replay, then send that into replay@screenreality.com. The link for that is in the description. Just attach the replay file itself or the link to the What Replay website to the email, and I can check that one out for you. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, you found it useful, informative, you learned something, or you just enjoyed it, then think about hitting that subscribe button, because there's a lot more World of Tanks content on the channel. I've been Maxwell, this has been World of Tanks, and I will catch you guys next time.